Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is our third episode of something a little bit different. Normally, we would be deep diving into our favorite fantasy world of A Court of Thorns and Roses. However, we are going to switch things up a little bit. We just finished book 2, A Court of Mist and Fury. So now we're going to go through some fun questions in regards to the book and other books that we're reading at the moment and discuss our favorites when it comes to our different characters, which ones we are emotionally attached to, over analyzing different plots, what we would have maybe changed about the plot, maybe a few scents thrown in there for candles and other things possible in the future. But we're going to have a little bit of fun for this episode. So join in with us. Feel free to put your answers to all of our questions in the comments. We'd love to hear what your opinions are as well. Okay, ACOTAR, Book 2, A Court of Mist and Fury. Flip to a random page in the book. We're going to start every episode out like this. Flip to a random page in the book. Read your favorite line to the group.
Page 343. Reese waves his lazy hand and says, "By all means, Tarquin, spend the day with my lady."
I just happened to end up on page 339. So, like 2 pages away. I think I'm going to have to go with I didn't feel quite so heavy because Farah is walking around the city of Adriata, realizing she can't find the book yet, but she's feeling lighter. All right, Kay,
That's
where'd
right.
you go?
I landed on the throne scene.
Yes! That whole scene is perfect.
Well, it was yeah, but it was right after though, and it is. So let's see. When she's talking about Reese, for the long hour afterward, my focus half remained on the High Lord, whose hands and mouth and body had suddenly made me feel awake, burning. Didn't make me forget. Didn't make me obliterate hurts or grievances. It just made me alive.
I love that. Made me
Yeah.
alive.
Perfect.
That is a great quote through the whole book, as well as not just on that page. Awesome. I love it. Okay. Favorite quote in the whole book. Mine, let me flip back so that I can actually read them. I would have to say either when Rhysand tells Feyre, I fell in love with you, smart butt, because you are one of us, or when Feyre responds with, I am broken and healing, but every piece of my heart belongs to you. Both in chapter 55, because we love 54 and 55.
Was earlier on. Sorry.
No, go ahead. Sorry.
Whichever. Mine was actually earlier on in the book when Reese tells Fabra that you are my salvation.
I love that line.
Favorite line the entire book. Made me cry.
I'm still going back to my Elaine line. At the tail end, after they have the meetings with the queens, and she sighs, mutters, and says, I hope they all burn in hell. Reason being, partly because you start to see who Elaine is, but also I love the humor and the tension breaking humor that comes out in Sarah's writing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I try and not pick emotional stuff sometimes because I'll cry for us all again. So, there's that too.
I
Mine was
love
so
it.
unexpected, though,
Yes. Okay. Did you laugh or cry in this book? Both.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I cried at
mean,
least 3 times.
I cried when we were filming an episode. So,
I didn't cry
That's true.
this reread, though. I laughed a lot. I didn't cry, which made me sad that I didn't. But it just is what it is when I do rereads. Because I already know what's going to happen. It just doesn't hit the same.
See,
But
that makes me cry more because I know what's coming. So I feel it more because I'm in that moment, but I'm also thinking of what's to come and knowing how devastating what is to come is, yeah, just I'm more emotional. So I cried in chapter 54, probably in 55. I cried at the end of this. There was one other part that I cried about. I can't remember when, but there were definitely 3 times.
take it back. I don't remember when it was when you were reading through it, actually. Wasn't when I read through it, was when you were going through, but I don't remember what part of it was.
Probably 55 or 54.
Probably was.
I will say I laughed, and when I'm home and reading and laughing, it's not a problem. But at one point, I read a couple of chapters while at the car dealership getting my car fixed and felt like people around me were just like, what is this crazy lady doing? Because one minute I was laughing at the book, and then the next minute my face was like super sorrowful because of whatever had happened next. So I probably did both while in a dealership surrounded by at least 50 different people. I just love the book so much. Okay, if you were to create a candle scent based on the book, what would you name it? I feel like we would need a candle that had jasmine and like Rhysand's scent as it, and then I would just call it Rhysand with a heart because, maybe a heart on either side of his name. But I did see somebody post one. Oh gosh, what was the name of it? It was like this when Tamlin is being a little bee.
That's a good one.
This is perfect.
See, I got one from, believe it or not, Walmart a while back, probably about the time I read the series the first time. And it was called, or it was supposed to be their dupe of what they would assume Starfall was. And it was crisp with a little bit of that citrus, but it also smelled like a summer night. And that kind of described to me
Nice.
the way she described Reese, because, she mentions the citrus undertones and all that. So I would probably stick to something like Starfall because, it's such a big day. And it's either that or the rainbow. Like I would,
Mm-hmm.
something very specific. And it would be like the hustle and bustle outside, people around, and maybe like fried snacks, something
That's what I was going to
variety.
say, something Valaris related. Been out in the rainbow area around where the shops are.
Have one. It's not Night Court related, but it is smells like she's reading fantasy again. So it fits in. It fits in quite well. Okay, what emoji best describes the book?
An
There
eggplant.
you go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that is perfect. I was gonna say the one with the heart eyes, but I feel like
I feel like my
eggplant
answer needs to go back. Yeah,
with some water
eggplant.
droplets there.
Don't forget the artist palette, because
That's true.
the
Maybe a
paint.
rainbow. A rainbow would fit very well as well. Oh, that's too funny. An eggplant. That's perfect. My goodness.
Oh,
Okay. Would you set up a friend on a date with any of these characters? Hands down, I would set a friend up with more because I feel like she would be a lot of fun to date.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
would say
probably Cassian.
Cassian.
Yeah, Cassian.
That's great.
Only because, Reese is already taken.
Right? By Farah or us,
Yeah,
one or the other.
definitely.
Depending on the fantasy.
No need to share.
That's right. Was there a scene in the book that activated your sense of smell? I think we talked about when she was in the Weaver's cottage, burning the hair and climbing up the chimney and the smell of like barbecue, that how Amryn described it. That might be the only time or the main time.
When we were going for the book and she was talking about the smell of the mold and the muck in the water, the like rotten water, like an algae, like if you go by an arroyo or a ditch and it's been sitting stagnant,
Yes.
that alighted that for me because you think of it with the cold and just that cold stenched water.
Yeah. Ugh. Yuck.
That that one got me. There are a couple things that gross me out reading. Apparently, my olfactory sense is active when I read.
Yeah, I can't really think of any that jumped out at me while I was reading.
Your favorite scene in the book? This is a really hard one because there were so many scenes that were just fantastic.
I mean, I think everyone's going to say Court of Nightmares at some point when
The
they're at the
throne
court.
scene?
Yes, the throne scene or the cabin scene, chapter 54, 55.
I don't know, like obviously those are good. I like whenever he throws the Lacey shop out at her. That one made me laugh out loud.
Yes.
And probably when she goes to the cereal.
Okay. I think her saving Rhysand, that is one of my favorite scenes because of the development that she's made to get to that point. I've also always really liked the Weaver scene and the lead up between her and Rhysand, like their banter, him trying to get her pissed off so that she's mad when she goes in there. I always really loved that scene. But yeah, I think also when she's going to save him.
See, if I weren't going with more obvious, I'd go when she is talking to Lucian and telling him she's not going back when they find her. Because that's part, again, I love how much you start seeing her come into her own, but not in this book. So it carried that theme.
Awesome. Was there anything a character did in the book that you've always wanted to do in real life? So my PG answer is fly, because Feyre gets to fly with Rhysand and Cassian and Azriel all the time, and I think that is awesome. And I said that when we were dealing with chapters where she was flying, that I would love to be able to fly. Not PG answer is obviously sleep with an Illyrian, because wingspan, why not?
Accurate. Accurate.
Mm,
I would want to winnow more than fly.
I was going to say that too.
Good point. Okay. I'm gonna have to add that to my list now. Not saying it's going above or below certain things, but it's added to the list. Okay. Did you find yourself judging any of the characters' decisions or actions?
Most definitely.
So let's say outside of Tamlin.
Yeah. No, I'm not even talking. Feyre, I cannot stand when she just drops Reese in the mud right after finding that out. And yeah, I'm just going to leave. That irritates me. Her whole thought process during that scene absolutely irritates me.
I agree to an extent because I think if this had happened at the beginning, towards the beginning of the book, her thought process right after doing it would not have been the same. But I think she has grown and developed enough past everything that happened under the mountain that she is able to recognize immediately that she was in the wrong. She doesn't rectify it immediately, but she recognizes it. So I like that part because I don't think she would have recognized it as easily if it was Feyre from earlier parts of the book.
Fair enough.
But I think Lucian, I mean, kind of similar with Tamlin because I think he tried, but he didn't really try. He didn't try hard. We'll put it that way, to help Feyre in the beginning of the book. Whether he just didn't want to or didn't want to say anything against Tamlin, I don't know, but definitely judged him. So many people I've seen in the fandom just love, and I don't get it. Don't get it whatsoever. Because I'm just like, he's not as bad as Tamlin, but he's like halfway in between there. Okay, if you could change one thing about the book, what would it be? I don't know that there's anything I would want to change because I feel like every part of it happened for a reason. Even the end. Like, as much as I hate the end that she has to go back to the spring court, I think what happens in book 3 justifies it, and that things would have been considerably different in book 3 if she hadn't gone back and does what she, and, handles things the way she does.
I agree. There's some stuff I think in the first one I would have changed because I told you I had such a hard time drawing myself into the first book, which I've seen a lot in the fandom too. People mentioning it took really till she was under the mountain to be fully vested in the story. And I even on my second read through, I'm one of them. But this one I feel like was so perfectly written. You can see I can just imagine Sarah sitting there and like storyboarding just her ideas in what order she wants them and why. So I don't know if I would change anything for this one myself because I can logically see it.
Yeah, it was all just so carefully written out. Again, though, just how cold that Feyre was portrayed towards Reese. That's literally the only thing that I would change.
See, and that scene just for me, I get it so much because I still till this day have moments where something is said wrong. We have some sort of moment and I have to walk away. I need to walk away and let my anger out before whatever. It could be a bad day at work, whatever, but if I need to walk away, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
Totally get that. I
And
just felt like it was overboard.
I mean, I'm also extremely dramatic, so I feel that. I was the slamming doors if I couldn't go outside as a kid type person. Just, yeah.
It's funny. Okay, would you name a pet after any of the characters?
Yes. If Sylvie hadn't had his name already, he'd be named Amryn or Azriel once we found out he was a boy. Because, we thought he was a girl at first, but
Mine
yeah.
would also be Amrit.
It's funny.
Like, out of all the characters, and it's not that I don't like their names, I just have an emotional connection to every one of them that I wouldn't want to name a pet after them, except for Amryn, because I love Amryn's character, but don't connect with her, maybe. I don't know if that's the right way to describe it, but I just think it'd be really funny to either have a super like aloof cat named Amryn or like a really prissy dog that I can put, nice big blingy collars on and name her Amryn. Would just be perfect.
It would definitely have to be a side character that's not really mentioned a whole lot because I don't think I could do that to any of the main characters in the book.
Or maybe if I had like a cool fish, I'd name it Tarquin. I'd be okay with that.
Tarquin's a good name.
I do like Cressida's name. I don't love her, but I do like her name, so I can see myself using Cressida. I can do that one. But yeah, that's about it. Would you follow any of the characters on social media?
Yes.
Hands
All of
down.
them.
All of them.
Well, except Tamlin.
Maybe just to be nosy.
To shame him.
I feel like Cassian and Moore would have the best social medias. That's who I'd want to follow the most. I mean, yes, I'd follow all of them, but I think the two of them, like Cassian, his is going to be a thirst trap. Like he is only going to post shirtless photos of himself or like videos of him and Reese or him and Azriel sparring. So hands down, I will happily follow Cassian. And Moore just does so many fun things. She's such a social person that I think she would also have a really good social media. I feel like Amryn wouldn't post anything unless it was pictures of Jules, and that's it. And Rhysand would have somebody post for him. He wouldn't actually post anything himself unless it was like food. And Feyre is only posting like painting and artsy stuff. And
Why is that so accurate?
Right? It
Especially
fits so
about Reese.
perfectly. And Tamlin is just posting like he is that friend or family. We all have them. We all have them where they post
Who's the angry
things just to
politician
get a
posting?
reaction. Yes, he posts just to get a reaction. That would be Tamlin.
It-
And I don't know that Lucian would post anything other than like landscapes or flowers, like scenery. I don't think he would post a whole lot about himself because he doesn't have a good opinion of himself. And he's not going to post about Tamlin. So I think he would only post like outdoor stuff, but who knows?
I was going to say. So I was just thinking through characters, and then I went back to the pet names, and then I was thinking Nuala or Caradwin. That's how you pronounce them. And then I was
Yes.
thinking about them on social media,
I mean, I
how
don't know that you'd
secretive
be
they
able
are.
to see them in the photo
True. Well,
because they're like half wraiths, but I agree. I think they would be cool they'd probably like share a social media account too and just post together.
See that?
That's pretty funny. Okay. Would the book be better as a movie or a TV show?
Neither. It's a book.
yeah, I would say neither. But if I had to, probably a movie, because I feel like,
I don't think they could squeeze everything into a movie.
yeah,
It would have to be a TV show. But I have always said if they're going to make it in a TV show, I want it to be animated because there is zero chance that any living person can live up to the characters I've created in my head.
yeah.
But
So
you can kind of make them overboard, muscly wise in an animated or anime that I think I'd be okay with it.
So would you want any of the Prime streaming or any of the streaming services out there? Would there be one that goes to your mind that you would want to own it?
No,
Because if I had to pick, I would almost lean toward Prime
that was my thought too.
for animated because of not that I've watched them all, but I've seen some of the stuff, the Vox Machina, and I mean even how Invincible is drawn is just fantastic. So
Yes,
I could
it
see
would
them
have to be
doing it
them.
very well. I wouldn't want Netflix to do it.
Oh, ugh.
Watching some of the stuff that my niece and him were watching the last couple weeks. I, as someone that isn't into a lot of the animated type stuff, I wouldn't
No, I don't
go
like it
that
at
route.
all. I don't like
But
animated or anime. I like Disney, and that's about it. And I like Vox Machina is like the only animated show that I watch outside of Darth Maul because that's freaking awesome. But because I don't think they would either have the budget to create and make it live up to what it is in my head, that's the only thing I can think of that would be able to do it justice.
I could see
And
that.
yes, it would have to be Prime because it would have to be similar to Vox Machina, which I just watched the last couple episodes for the new season last night. And they go to a city that is surrounded by an ocean because it's the water people, the water tribe, and it is so similar to what I picture as Adriata. So if you get a chance, go on Prime, watch the latest episode of Vox Machina, and check out that city because it reminds me so much of what Adriata looks like in my mind.
You do know the brownie points I'll get if I go out in the living room and ask to watch an episode of that with
Oh yeah,
him
do it.
on a Friday night, right?
Do it.
I don't think that anyone can live up to what Reese is supposed to look like, though. I think would be the only character that would disappoint me if they got it wrong.
Right? Okay. Would you want your children to read the book? If so, at what age? I think it's funny because Kay and I were talking about this, what, a week ago with your daughter not even wanting to read the book?
Mm. Yeah, no, I know some of my nieces have read some of her stuff that are like in their late 20s, early 30s, but like I'd feel so awkward even talking to them about it,
Yeah.
even with like the 18-year-olds, because like, no, they're still my babies. That's the
Yeah, I
best
mean,
reference I have for kids. So I
obviously
would
they're
say
gonna
out of high
know.
school,
Mm-hmm.
that would be my
Yeah, I know I wouldn't let her read any of this. I don't even know under my roof. Maybe, obviously, I think early 20s, but I was thinking on it, with Twilight, obviously it's not as descriptive as what's going on in these books, but it's still heavily hinted and still has some what she goes through, especially with pregnancy. I mean, she's read that, and I remember reading that at her age, maybe a little bit older. Obviously not as descriptive with the scenes, but I don't think that I would say at least 17 or older for this, and book 5 definitely not. Way too way too.
It's funny. I will hands down recommend this book to everybody and my mother under the sun. I mean, my boyfriend has read it. All of my sisters have read it. My mom has read it. My dad hasn't, but we're still working on him. He just finished off campus, so I feel like we're getting him closer to something like this. I have told, like, I've gotten people from work when I worked in the store versus working corporate. I have gotten so many people to read this series or Throne of Glass that hands down, any children, my niece and nephew, stepdaughter, yes. I most definitely will be recommending, hey, you need to read this and then you need to watch my podcast from like 20 years ago that I did. Because at that point, that's when my niece of 3 will be able to read it. Because I agree. I think you need to be at least
Gotcha.
in your early 20s to read this. But hands down, I am recommending it to everybody
I
still.
think part of it isn't even the explicit material for me. Part of it is the life lessons that are through it too, like the shame, the letting yourself go. I wish that I had read this 10 years ago in
Right?
my early 20s, early to mid
Mhm.
20s, we'll say, 'cause that's more than 10 years. But, I wish I was reading this when I felt like I was more coming into who I was as a person than now. I have a respect for it now, but it would have been a different experience, as reading it when you're younger, I think.
Right?
So I think there is that quintessential time as a first read and then maybe reread as you get older too. Just well out of high school, much into adulthood,
Yep.
or at least a bit, because
At least after you're able to drink. So let's say at least you need to be 21 to read the
agreed.
series. Awesome. Okay. Only a couple more. If you could give the book a new title, what would it be? It's already called Mist and Fury. So I kind of feel like we could rename it to something like A Court of Darkness and Starlight or Starlight and Rainbows.
I mean, you could
And
also take
Wingspan.
directly. I was gonna say you could take directly from the book and do dreams and nightmares.
That's true. Dreams and
Yeah.
Nightmares. Okay, what did you just say?
Night and Wingspan.
Yes, that one. That's what we're naming the book, Night and Wingspan.
A Court of Night and Wingspan.
Yep.
It rolls off the tongue
Okay.
very nicely.
Last couple of questions that are not ACOTAR related. Do you judge a book by its cover?
I
Usually,
know this.
when I'm scrolling through on my Kindle, if a cover catches my attention, I'll at least read the description and then go from there. If I'm at a bookstore, it's probably worse because then I can see how thick the book is, really get into how much I want to read it. Because I'm not one to go for shorter stories. So I do kind of a little bit, not as much as I used to, but yeah, I'm not ashamed to admit that I do just a bit.
We were at the bookstore the other day, and that one that I didn't get, I told you standing there, I was like, I'm not going to get this because I don't relate with the cover. I can't help it. I couldn't even focus when reading the back of it. Like, that's
Right?
how
Because you're so
uninterested I
focused on the
was.
cover.
I was like, I think I'm going to pass. So you let me know if that one was a good one to
Oh
grab.
my gosh. I haven't started it. Well, I started the one by the romance author, but I
Mhm.
haven't started the fantasy ones. I'm to an extent. Like, I will read things if the description is really good or I see a rating that makes it sound really good. If the cover isn't, if I don't care for the cover, like, there are even some covers where I'm like, oh, I don't like that. But if the description is good or someone's rated it in a certain way that catches my attention, I don't care that the cover isn't good. Will I buy it to put on my bookshelf if I don't like the cover? Probably not. But I am a person who will buy based on the cover because I think, what is it? The Moth and the Night. I love the cover, so I bought that in hardback and I still haven't read it, and that was like a year and a half ago. And I bought the Rose Bargain because I thought the cover looked really good, and I haven't read that one yet. So I will buy a book because I like the cover
You guys want to laugh?
very quickly.
I bought Crescent City because I liked the cover.
I hate
And
the
I had
Crescent
heard
City
about
covers.
her writing. I'd heard about her writing, and I was like, oh, it must be a new series by her. And when I say heard about, I had heard like very, very brief. Oh, these are good. People like these. So I didn't realize there was any connection to them. So I bought very first Crescent City, read it, realized what it was all connected to, and immediately had 19 books in my house. And haven't read the other two because I finally wanted to get to where I was reading them in order, hence C coming into my life. I had the hardest time getting into Throne of Glass, so I was reading it in a order that wasn't sitting well for me. But yeah, the whole reason I even started SJM books was because of cover Crescent City in Barnes and Noble that day.
I
So
think that's funny. I actually no, that's actually really funny because we actually had Throne of Glass sitting on our shelves, no joke,
You
for
did.
years
For
when you recommended them, and I did not read them because of the covers.
Yep.
Because the original,
And that was the original covers.
they just didn't, but the
really,
new ones I think are more intriguing. And now all of the old ones are sought after, and I don't have those, which I want them to complete. I've only got like 3 or 4 of them. But yeah, I think that's really funny that they just sat there, and that the gold just sat there on my shelf for years, and I didn't touch it because of the way it looked.
Right? I think you had Throne of Glass and Assassin's Blade
Yeah.
and didn't read either of them
Mm-hmm.
until last year. And I'm talking like when I met you 6 years ago, you
Mm-hmm.
had those on your shelf. That's how long ago we're talking.
That's funny.
That's great. I will say, because we talk about the Windy City series by Liz Tomforty all the time, at least I do, because I love it. She has announced that she has 2 different versions, at least 2 different versions of the books coming out in a hardcover. And the one version is all of the females of each book is on the front. And I'm just like, oh, why on earth would I want to look at the female? But the other versions in hardback are so beautiful. I will be buying all 6 of them.
What are
Hands
they?
down.
I'm assuming they're the male main characters.
No. No, they're like, no, and I wouldn't buy them if they were the mailman characters either, because
That's kind of
I
why I was
want,
asking, because I was like, that doesn't scream you.
no, I don't want a bunch of people. I don't want realistic looking people on a cover. Either make them cartoony or I don't know. I like an actual cover that has stuff happening, like artistically. I don't need people, realistic people, photos of people on them. I will
Get
send
that.
you, because I follow her. I will send you what they look like because they're awesome. So I will be buying all of them when they come out.
See, and you kind of make me sad. I love that I got my paperbacks, but I got the ones with the painted edges to match each color of each cover. And it's the original covers with like the cassette tape for Rewind It Back and
Yes.
the plain.
Yep.
Yeah, I have not the second where it's the city in the background, but the ones where it's actually like the collection of their stuff, like memory box, which I love a memory box looking cover. Give me something that looks like a chest of something is opened, and I will buy that book. I will read that book. I don't care if I don't like it. I will still treasure it because
That's too funny.
Here's the
Okay.
question. Sprayed edges versus the spine. Which one would you have facing out on the shelf?
This spine.
this
Why on
spine,
earth
however,
would
with
I
my
not
Wendy,
want to know the name?
No, I see it everywhere. They because the spread edges are pretty and everyone has this. But how do
Yeah.
you know what it is?
no, and see that my thing. I like the sprayed edges right now because I got the bookcases where you stack your books and they look like they're going to be floating. That's why I got those. So those you can still see the covers on or the edges on 2 sides. So yeah, no, seeing those bookcases organized like that drive me nuts too. I'm like, why do you flip them around?
Right?
Like
I want
stacking
to
them
know what
different
that book is
levels, some
called.
horizontal, some vertical. I get that. My shelf with these that are on it actually, some are horizontal, some are vertical, and I like that. But why do I not want to know the title? I get annoyed if I don't know, or if they're out of order.
Want someone
Don't
else
put them
because
in a funny
obviously we're
order.
showing them to other people.
Right?
We know what we have. We are displaying them. Why would we not want them to know what we have in our collection?
Yep.
You know?
I mean, if it has sprayed edges, then cool, but I'm not going
Yeah.
to put them out so you can see them. You're going to see the spine of the book. That's funny. Okay, last 2 questions. What was your favorite book read in May? I had to
I'm
pull out
split.
my list. Yeah? Split between
I
what?
am split between the last 2 that I've read in the DC Stars Chelsea Curto series, Hat Trick and Sin Bin. I mean, the names alone, phenomenal. They both tugged on your heartstrings in different ways. The book 4 was dealt with rehabilitating the loss of a limb. So there was a lot of emotional in that one. And then book 5 was someone's favorite trope, the older man coach with a gymnast, younger sister of a player type of a vibe, but the way they came together was so cute and organic. And I think I told you guys, apparently I have this thing for romance novels in sports now, which never knew was a trope or
You're
was a
welcome.
genre I'd be diving into, but they stuck with me for days after I read them. And romance novels don't usually stick with me like that. Usually I'll just pick up the next book and go. And those 2 both, her entire DC Star series was phenomenal, but for the month of May, those 2 were my absolute favorite.
I did not read much in May. I say that. I mean, I still read 10 books, but that's not much for me. I would have to say I have 2. It's split between Mr. Sin by S.J. Tilley. Don't ask me what it's about because that was like 3 weeks ago, but I really enjoyed it. I remember really enjoying it. I gave it 5 stars. And then that time I accidentally took over the Mafia by Rebecca Sinclair. If you haven't read it or listened to it, you need to because it's funny, it's fantastic. Yeah, that one's really good.
I only read 10. Like it.
I think I
Listen,
only did like 7 or 8 for May too. It was a weird month.
I need to up my reading. So you said we couldn't use Mist and Fury
Correct. It
as
can't be a reread. It has to be a new book.
Well, I only read Hunting Adeline and Roles and Rivalry, which they were both good. I rated them both 4 stars. Hunting Adeline was not my favorite just because it was so intense that it wasn't bad, but it was just very intense. And it's hard to get around how intense it is. So I guess I'll have to say Roles and Rivalry, which it isn't bad either. It wasn't as good as the first 2.
If you had to pick a reread, Kay, then what would it be?
It's obviously going to be Mist and Fury.
See, I can't
That's
say
the only
that because
reread that I had.
okay, there you go. Well, then that one can be your favorite for May, since it's so much better than all the other ones that you
Yes.
read. I didn't finish A Court of Mist and Fury until today, so I can't say it was a reread for May. But I can say I did read, some of my other favorites that I just reread on a loop. So I did reread like 4 Mariana Zapata books. So if you haven't read a Mariana Zapata, you need to, especially From Lukov with Love. It's an ice skating one, like Rivals, and it is so fantastic. It's best friend's brother, slight age gap, just a little bit like 6 years. So practically nothing but enemies to lovers. And it is just forced proximity a little bit. It's just fantastic. That's probably my top reread for the month of May.
I only had one reread for the month of May, so mine would have to be Mist and Fury too. I mean, shame, because it was so
Right?
good.
It's
Shame.
only the best book in the world,
Right. I mean, to be fair, I'm still working so much through my TBR that rereads, aside from what we're doing for the podcast, have been backburnered for the most part because I'm
That makes
actually
sense.
making headway with some series. I finished the
Good.
second Philippa Gregory book last night, and it's actually really good. So yeah,
That's great. I'm legit in the middle of like 8 new reads because I just can't push myself to get through them. So I just go back to my rereads.
it's funny you mentioned the Mafia one. I picked it up and told myself, okay, once I finish this second book before I start Red Queen, I'll read how I accidentally took over the Mafia because I had it on my Kindle and read it before you ever even
Right?
considered it. And I'm still on chapter 7. I've not gone
It's
back.
so good.
So,
It's
but
so
I
good.
still
You
have
need to finish it.
Valentine Nook and like 5 other series that I'm one book
We get the
in,
new one of
2 books
that like
in.
next month. You need to read it.
And
We
you
keep
know what? Wednesday, Thursday
rereading.
next week?
Okay, so Tim, have you finished Nocticadia yet?
Actually, no, I still have 64% of that one.
Can we put that up there? And then Quicksilver needs to be up there as well because, listen, I need to talk about this. And see, you already know I got to move on and I can't because no one will, especially with Quicksilver.
I'm sorry.
I think, did I end up buying Quicksilver for Audible after you guys told, well,
Yes.
after you told me
Yeah.
to?
Yes,
So
because
since
of
I
the
got it on
narrator.
Audible, maybe I'll listen to it while I do house stuff.
You guys stopped right before the fun began in that one. It's great.
We did. Oh gosh. Okay, Nocticadia and Quicksilver. Need to knock them
Very
out
quick.
soon.
Give
Please.
me at least the end of the month.
It gets so good. The beginning is a little rough and what's going on, but it gets so good. And it's the same with Quicksilver too.
I will get there soon. At least with Nocticadia. I can commit to that one too. Because that's only like 7 more hours. Quicksilver is like 20.
Is it that long?
Maybe it isn't. I don't remember.
Are you sure about that?
But I started back into a Zodiac Academy series, and
We said we weren't doing that.
See,
so the
I-
prequel series, I had read the first 4 out of 5 books and hadn't finished book 5, and I was trying to go back to finish book 5. I was actually trying to finish a book by going back to it.
Okay.
and see, I finished
Yeah,
the DC
Quicksilver's
Star
20 hours.
series, and I told you guys I would focus on something else from my list, and then
You
I
did.
went to Chelsea Curto's series from before the DC Star series that ties, and I've read the novella in 2 of those already. So I
was
can't
like,
say
I went
much
back
'cause-
to re-listening to the Windy City series. So
And then there was one that caught my attention called The Promise of Wonder. It was one of the Kindle Prime tells you, hey, you have this book, you can download it for free and you own it. It's just one of the free downloads. And I started it and I kind of love it. So I have 3 or 4 books above 40% just sitting there waiting for me to make my way back to them each night.
okay, last question. We can finish up. Your favorite read for the year so far, and is it different from what you said in April? My favorite read is still In Her Own League by Liz Tom Forty in the Windy City series because that is a freaking awesome book. So it is not different. It is the same book that it's been my favorite so far this year for 3 months in a row.
No, I still think the Laura Mackenzie Maya blog books are still on the list of my favorites. I think that entire series was just so dang cute and it was so uplifting. I still think it was my favorite read of the entire year. Seconded with In Her Own League, but yeah, I still
Or
think from
Love Song.
January finishing that series, that Laura Mackenzie Maya blog series it stuck with me. And then book 6 just got released, so of course then I am
Of
right
course.
back in that world too.
And Kay is going to say Nocticadia is still her favorite.
See, wait, I don't know. So have a hard time putting books above the other because they all have their own things that I love about them. I love Nocticadia. However, Grimm was really good. That was a June read, so I can't put that. It was
Next
great.
time.
It was great. Also currently I started The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy. I started that one.
Yeah.
And my Spotify hours did me dirty and ended, so I have to wait. And then I started Say You Swear. Say You Swear is so
Gosh.
good. I have never switched between books like that.
No.
And I fought with it. I was like, do I really want to stop in the middle of this book? But I couldn't just sit here and not read anything. So I started Say You Swear, and it is so sweet. And I'm sure it's probably going to emotionally wreck me.
Say It's Sweet.
Say You Swear? Yeah. Noah is sweet.
Say You Swear by Megan Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's not the one that I was thinking of. That does not look like dark romance. No, it is
It's
not. That's a sports romance, Kay.
Yes, I think you guys will like this one.
Oh yeah, I'll start it right now. It's already on my want to read list.
I
How
should
many
be done
books
with it
do
by
we have?
tomorrow. They're all
4
standalones
books.
too, which I love. They're interconnected, but they're standalone, which I love that because I can't commit to the whole series, right now.
Did I get those?
This one is on my list too.
I didn't get those. Why didn't I buy those? Okay, there. I have the first one now.
Favorite book? I don't know.
Why not? Start another book.
Yeah, they all have their own different characteristics, and I don't know. Nocticadia is so great, but I really liked Grimm and the plot behind that one. I hate when books are just all
Spicy.
sexy, yeah, and they don't, it's like around that. Grimm fit it in very well. I feel like it was really well done in this one.
Yeah. I did start Grimm. I made it halfway through the first chapter, and then I didn't want to continue because I didn't want to listen to anything at that point. That was the day I started 5 different books. Grimm, Cash, and
My
like 3
goodness.
others. And I didn't
Hey,
make it
question
past the
for
first
you.
chapter.
Speaking of book covers, when you are mood reading and you're going for a physical read, do you judge your mood read by the cover
Yeah.
for a physical read? Okay.
I don't
'Cause if
physical
I'm
read very often.
But the few times you do, because every once in a while I'll still be like, "Oh, I want like the Vampire Academy feel on the cover, like the feel, you know what I mean? Versus like the happy, peppy, colorful feel on some other books. So I was curious on that if sometimes covers determine your mood reads too.
If I am deciding between 2 different books, and it doesn't matter how I'm reading it, physical, read it on Kindle, or listening to it on Audible, if I am debating between a couple different books and I can't decide which one, I will choose based on the cover.
See, I
Hands
go with
down.
reviews. If people love it, and it has to be a lot. But if most of the reviews are good, then that's usually the deciding factor for me.
I agree, but if I have like 3 that I'm like, oh, I could go with this one, or this one because they all sound really good, they have great reviews. If I've taken all of that in consideration, then I will choose one of those 3 based on cover.
Yeah,
See, you
that's
guys are
kinda,
nicer than me. If I straight can't decide, I'll go to him and be like, pick a book for me to read. And I'll just bug him till he gives me
no,
an
I
answer.
can't. No.
Ugh. Why on earth would I let somebody else tell me what book to read?
Because if I
That
try
sounds
and read what I want to
terrible.
read, I would have read Nocticadia at night and then not slept. Not because I was freaked out, but because then I want to keep going and finding
Yep,
other
you wouldn't be
darker
able to
books
put
to
it
get
down.
in.
He's gonna recommend
Yeah.
one of those lit RPG, and I'm like, I don't want to read that.
See, he'll go
What he's
based off of
reading.
what I have. I tell him, hey, should I read this, this, or this? And he'll pick a title. So it's not like he's picking.
Yeah.
He's just helping me make up my mind.
Yep, choose
I'll
between
clarify
2.
that.
I'm gonna stick with Nocticadia for now.
Okay, I love it.
I really want to love the Irresistible Urge book, but see, I just don't have the time to read the physical that I have here in front of me. narration is British. I have a hard time connecting with British narrators because I don't think they show as much emotion when they're reading.
Okay.
So it's harder for me to connect with them because they're monotone. That's where they're all, it sounds the
There's
same.
no inflection.
Mhm.
Yeah. Interesting. I'm just happy to listen to their accent, so it doesn't bother me.
Normally I love
That
them.
or Scottish, and I'm like, yeah, I'm all in. Let's do it. Although I will say, what is it, Pucking Around, that hockey romance? If you listen to it, one of them is Swedish. And I do every time I re-listen to it, because that's one of the ones that I re-listen to a couple times every year. And it takes me a little bit of time to get into his chapters because of, it's not his accent. It's just, I don't know if it's the voice actor or what, but yeah, I can understand that.
I had a
It's an
hard time with
odd,
Grimm because of that, because he's French, and it
Yeah.
was a little off-putting when I was listening. Just some of the things that they say, and I was like, I don't really care for that, but I
that's
listened
great.
anyway.
You still got through it and absolutely loved it.
Yes, it was great.
Awesome. And that's a wrap for today's fun episode where we answer some fun questions, give you guys our opinion on different things, both math related and other. Please put your answers in the comments because we'd love to hear your opinions as well. If you haven't already, follow, and share our podcast. We'd love to have your support. And if you haven't, just read it. Okay. Night, everybody.